I bet I just caught you mouth breathing or shallow breathing with bad posture. You saw the video title or thumbnail and you snapped into presence, realizing, oh wait, I'm breathing wrong. And if you didn't, I commend you. I don't think I'm exaggerating when I tell you that the way you're breathing is probably killing you. It's crazy to me that we're the smartest animals on the planet, yet we're so detached from our primal DNA that we don't even remember how to do something as basic as breathing. Let me tell you a story. So I actually used to be slightly insecure about this side of my face. It's much better now, but it's always been slightly droopier, a little bit of sclera show. This led me to finding out about mewing. I'm sure a lot of you watching this video have heard about it. The whole point was to improve my aesthetics, improve my jawline and facial structure. That was the idea. But that led me down a rabbit hole, which turned out to be one of my best accidents. Learning how to breathe again. I've been suffering my whole life with allergies, poor sleep, waking up tired, being unfocused, unproductive, slightly anxious. The asymmetry I mentioned was kind of getting worse over time. And learning how to breathe again is pretty much removing all of those things. Instead, in place of those things, I'm learning how to consciously be able to energize or relax myself, and I just generally feel much better. But why are we all breathing wrong anyways? It's one of the few things that we do without thinking at all. Breathing, our heart beating, blinking, these things that we don't really consciously think about, but we do all the time. How could we possibly just get to a stage where almost everyone's breathing wrong? It doesn't make any sense, right? The core reason why you will be breathing through your mouth is because your airways are restricted for whatever reason. Modern lifestyles often lead to shallow and erratic breathing, contributing to a state of perpetual distraction. Imagine, we've all heard about people who get sleep apnea, but that's at least kind of understandable because when you're asleep, you're unconscious, right? But nowadays, people get awake apnea. I don't think it's called that, but they literally get the same thing as they get when they're asleep, but awake whilst watching TV. That is crazy to me. They're just sitting there watching TV and they can't breathe. They forget to breathe. I don't understand how we got here. This means most of us are in a state of constant partial attention. A likely reason why your airway is being restricted is because your mouth just isn't big enough. When you compare to skulls in human history, their faces used to be much wider than ours, and weirdly their teeth were much better too, even though their dental hygiene was nowhere near the level of our dental hygiene today. It's a little bit suspicious. It's likely that you don't chew enough hard foods for long enough to really increase those jaw muscles and widen your face, meaning your mouth becomes more narrow, and then that causes your tongue to fall down from the roof of your mouth, which is the natural resting position. If you didn't know that, is your tongue on the roof of your mouth right now? Yeah, if it's not, it's likely because your mouth is too narrow. When your tongue falls down, it blocks the airway. This means you have two options. You either sit forward like this, which when there's an emergency situation, you always should lift somebody's head up so that it opens the airway. So you might sit forward like this to open your airway, or you might start breathing like this, or even just like this. More likely. When you start breathing with your mouth open, your face is gonna grow narrower and longer instead of wider, and this is gonna make your airways even more constricted, meaning you have to breathe through your mouth more. The more you breathe through your mouth, the more you have to breathe through your mouth. But it's not a big deal. It's just breathing through your mouth, breathing through your nose, breathing through your mouth. Potatoes, it's the same deal, right? Wrong. Not only will you be uglier, which I'm sure a lot of you will find that tragic because, we're all insecure, right? You're more likely to have dental issues, poor sleep, you'll always feel out of breath, yet simultaneously you'll be breathing too much, and there is such thing as breathing too much. You'll always be slightly more anxious and in a state of not paying attention, losing focus. And as I mentioned, the more you breathe through your mouth, the more you have to breathe through your mouth. You're literally losing the ability to breathe through your nose. But you know what's interesting? Your nose isn't a backup to your mouth for breathing. The mouth is the backup for the nose for breathing. It should only be used when necessary, like you're taking a big gasp of air whilst drowning, or you're about to do a heavy lift at the gym and you use that extra oomph from breathing to push. You don't breathe through your mouth constantly. That's not how it's meant to be. The mouth is an eating and communication hole. The nose is the breathing hole, and it does everything opposite to all the problems I mentioned from the mouth breathing. The nose is literally like the brain's pharmacist. Like you're feeling a little bit anxious, let me provide you with that nutrition that your brain needs to calm you down, relax. And funnily enough, the more you breathe through your nose, the more you'll realize the benefits of breathing through your nose. And so the more you'll be inclined to keep breathing through your nose, eventually becoming slightly subconscious, just like how you're breathing through your mouth without realizing it now. So you want to stop mouth breathing and you want to improve your breathing overall. The first step I would give to anyone, at least this is the one I gave myself, is to expand your mouth size. I'm sure there's many ways to do this, but the way I've done it, and I'm doing it right now, is by chewing harder foods for longer. I'd recommend, what's the name of the gum? Yes, Falum, which I used for a while until I've heard that there's some bad ingredients. I've just ordered this Greek tree sap. I can't remember the name. It's like a mastic gum. I think that's gonna be a little bit more natural, but chewing food is obviously the best option, you know, hard steaks and all this stuff. Don't eat too many liquid foods. And of course, mewing, the thing that kind of started this journey for me to begin with. If you don't know about mewing, I'll make a video about it in the future. I'll probably talk about this topic again in the future. I'm nowhere near done with it because I'm still working on it myself. I'm nowhere near the perfect breather yet. Lisa, go away. You will fight with yourself during this process. You will catch yourself mouth breathing or shallow breathing constantly, and you will constantly have to fix it and fix it and fix it, make it a habit. I would recommend, if you live with somebody, to ask them, if you catch me doing this, let me know. But yeah, it's just gonna be a fight with yourself. There's no easy tips for that. It just is what it is. One thing that always helps is good posture. Posture is essential. I mean, it's literally like the root of the problem. Tongue posture, mouth posture, everything posture. If you have good body posture, it usually makes it so that your breathing is a little bit better too, instead of mouth breathing when you're just like slouch or like, you know, like this. You're not gonna breathe as good as if you have good posture. Let me show you something really quick. Yeah, that wasn't a hostage situation. That's me trying to sleep with my mouth taped shut and being blasted with bright light by my girlfriend. I wasn't very impressed. Andrew Huberman would also not be impressed. He always recommends that you keep dim lights 2 hours before sleeping, and I was already sleeping, so that definitely messed up my circadian rhythm. Yeah, what you saw there was mouth tape, and that's one of the best recent changes I've made. It's amazing. It looks kind of funny, but my sleep has improved tenfold. It's been so much better since I've started using it about 3 weeks ago. This is the tape I use. It's not even mouth tape. It's kind of like regular adhesive medical tape. I got this on Amazon. I'll link it below. And this is the one that was recommended by the book Breath, James Nestor. I'd also recommend that you read this book. I'll link it below, as well as Jaws, which is another book that I read, and I don't have it with me right now. But I love that book. It's very scientific, and it's pretty much touching on this problem, just like Breath. I recommend those two books. They're super insightful. Not sponsored, but I'll link those down below with some Amazon affiliate links. I made this as one of my first videos because I genuinely believe that for people to fix the problems that they have and think about all the time today, we first have to fix the foundational primal issues that we have that we don't think about today. I mean, it sounds ridiculous. We don't know how to breathe. We are a failed species. We don't know how to do one of the basic things that we need to do to survive. It's like, there's not that many things we need to like survive on a basic level. Breathing is one of them. Eventually we will be extinct if we keep doing this. I'm gonna finish off by saying that the ideal breath should be around 5.5 seconds on the inhale, and 5.5 seconds on the exhale. Transform your health one breath at a time.